It has been claimed Manchester City's players crossed a line at Old Trafford, but nothing could be further from the truth. Why wouldn't you celebrate a big win away from home? In the heat of the moment, at the end of a match, when there is something huge riding on the outcome, the only people you think about is yourself and all the people on your team who have helped you. If the team in the opposite dressing room doesn't like it, that's their problem. The way City's squad reacted was totally natural. I saw the game as a title decider, and the manner in which they put United away means they effectively aren't for catching. So I could fully appreciate the stories that emerged of music blaring, screaming, and shouting in the away dressing room. I had an experience 7 years ago that I could relate to, one, ironically, in which the team on the receiving end was Man City. At the Etihad Stadium on May 5, 2010, I scored the goal that put Tottenham back into Europe's top club competition for the first time since 1961. It was the penultimate game of the season, and the battle to finish fourth had boiled down to a shootout between ourselves and City. The feeling was amazing, and the celebrations were incredible. We headed over to our fans at the end, singing and dancing. When we got back into the dressing room, there were bottles of champagne waiting for us. I'll never forget that, because each one said welcome to the Champions League. Sky had broadcast the match, and they had the bottles prepared in readiness for the winners. You can imagine in our little sanctuary how much they were getting shaken up and fizzed around. The noise, the music was amazing. We didn't care where we were, we just wanted to release our feelings. Though the makeup of the tunnel area is different to Old Trafford, the away team turns left, the home team goes right. The City lads couldn't have failed to hear us. But they let us carry on without saying a word. The second thing to say is I would have been equally as angry had I been wearing red. Some people believe the reaction of United's players was excessive, but I understand why they reacted as they did. It churns away inside and winds you up. When I think back to the 2007 Champions League final in Athens, all that comes into my mind is the laughter of the AC Milan players filtering through the walls. I don't think you can play in the Premier League or participate in elite sport if you don't mind losing. You will lose at some point. It is part of the game. It comes home with you when you lose. Jose Mourinho would have been so wound up because it was 3 huge points before Christmas, and you mix that all together, you end up with a kind of commotion that erupted at Old Trafford, which is probably the only stadium in the country where something like that could happen and not be filmed. The space is tight, but there are no cameras, and that probably explains why it goes off there more than anywhere else. Most of the time it is handbags, pushing and shoving. Fans want to see the players are hurting. If everyone was smiling, laughing and joking, it wouldn't go down well. Just watching him against Manchester United, he was putting his foot in, tackling. He was everywhere, a side to his game that we had never seen before. When we played Manchester City, him and Kevin De Bruyne ran the most of anyone in their side. He has got them to a level now where they run themselves into the ground every match. He looked like he could be a replacement for Patrick Vieira. I genuinely think he's got it in him to become that good. You can't really compare him to Vieira because he was something else, but Steven has got similar attributes, being so good on the ball and energetic, but so strong, powerful and good in the air. I sometimes think players who are doing well for Stoke get overlooked, and that may have been the case for Steven. His situation reminded me of Lassana Diarra, who I played with at Portsmouth. He had been at Chelsea and Arsenal, but barely played. After training with him a few times, I couldn't work out why. He ended up going to Real Madrid for £18 million, but we were so lucky to have him at Fratton Park. Lass was quality, and that is the word that I would use without hesitation to describe Steven, who has been excellent for Seville and won the Europa League with them in 2016. Any club that takes a punt on him will be getting a good one. It has been hard going for Jack Butland this past week. He has been our standout performer, and the form Jack has been showing has made my mind even clearer that there will be a point in the near future when he becomes England's #1. He is world class and has everything a keeper needs, from his size to his athleticism, while he is also good with his feet. The focus is on him a little more now, given the difficult time Joe Hart is experiencing at West Ham, but I don't think Joe losing his place will have changed Jack's attitude with regards to starting England's next friendly in March. There certainly won't be any complacency. Jack is very focused and is the kind of character who takes everything in his stride. He has never made any secret about wanting to take over the gloves from Joe in the future, and if that was to happen in Russia next summer, we wouldn't go far wrong. If he can stay fit for the rest of the season, he will be right in England manager Gareth Southgate's thoughts, although I can't talk about Jack without mentioning Stoke's other goalkeeper, Lee Grant. Whenever Lee comes in, he always does well. He would be a good #1 for anyone in the Premier League.